Good morning, everyone.
Everyone.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups Dallas, but I would say it's the global edition because Jessica's not in Dallas right now.
It's the global edition. We spend half of our time saying Jessica's not in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm still here in my computer every time, but that's all right. I'm not hating at all.
We need your consistency and to really class up the program because I'm over here just looking like a disaster. We all have our role here.
No, you mean my boring? When you say consistency, you mean me being boring and stuck in my house? Okay.
No, you look beautiful. This is what I was going to say before we got started. Is I've been watching your Her Texas videos and the fashion vibes and the whole look, I just keep thinking like, I do think The View, because that's what we talked about last time, but you've got Oprah vibes for sure.
I'm taking that.
Like casual interview kind of.
Oh, Jessica, From Her Ears and Own Network. I'm taking that one. You mean it's like it's a mullet vibe though. It's business up here and all kind of hot mess down here. Y'all don't even want to see at the bottom.
I think you should coin that for the pandemic.
I should totally. We should introduce ourselves, Jessica.
And no one needs to know who I am right now. You should introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Jasmin. I'm based in Dallas. I'm one of the co-organizers for 1 Million Cups Dallas. Hi.
What do you do? What project are you working on?
I'm just going to say entrepreneur because there's a bunch of stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
Specifically, I'm passionate about connecting Texas women together. So I'm launching something next month. So I'll definitely make sure I hype it up at a future one of these.
That's a little teaser for everyone. My name's Vittorio. I'm a startup and technology attorney based in Dallas most of the time. And I also am the author of a book called How Not to F It Up, which is a legal primer for founders. And I am in El Salvador at the moment.
Can we get a view? Can we get a shot real quick, Jessica?
Yeah, exploring the view.
I just messed her connection up. Sorry, Jessica.
Oh my gosh. This is what happens. I try and share. with the people.
Sorry.
I will say.
Now your reception's horrible. Sorry about that.
Is it still not good?
No, it's just starting to go in and out. That was my fault. Sorry about
that. It's because I moved it too far from my phone. I am in a city with no electricity, no Wi-Fi at the moment. So we're just living on a hope and a prayer in terms of my Wi-Fi connection right now. But excited to be here. Always excited to be at 1 Million Cups Dallas, to be back with y'all. And if this is your first time joining us at 1 Million Cups Dallas, welcome. We're super excited to have you. We have been doing virtual sessions every other week for about 4 or 5 months now since we came back during the pandemic. And soon we will be releasing information about when you can begin to join us in person again. We are very excited about that. But a little bit of background information, if you haven't been to 1 Million Cups previously, 1 Million Cups is an educational initiative of the Kauffman Foundation. And we have two purposes: connecting the community, so networking, and also education, letting you know what's going on, what cool things people are doing in our community and beyond. And normally that involves coffee and donuts or kolaches, but while we work out the logistics on how to get all of that stuff to y'all personally, you will have to provide your own coffee for the time being. I don't even have coffee today, so this is really good.
I don't even know how you're even smiling or awake right now, Jessica.
You know, it's just adrenaline at this point. I'm trying to pull it together in chaos. But the cool thing about 1 Million Cups is there are over 500 chapters throughout the United States. So when you join us Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m., not only are you participating and supporting local entrepreneurship, but you're also engaging in a bigger conversation about entrepreneurship throughout the United States, which is a really cool thing. We are so excited. Dallas is one of the longest running chapters in Texas, and we are always excited to be here with you. And Jasmin will give you a little more information about how to get involved with 1 Million Cups, what we do, and what you may see today.
Yeah, definitely. So as Jessica mentioned, we're the longest running, I think, chapter here in North Texas. And we have been going through transition like everyone else has, but we are super excited about coming back in person safely, of course. I don't know, Jessica, if we can actually say it yet. I'll just say it's that's coming in August, we're predicting that will be in person. Is that enough?
Jasmine's full of teasers today. She's just dropping little teasers, not going to give it all the information to anyone. She's why you guys keep coming back.
That's exactly right. Yes. And speaking of, as Jessica mentioned, we've been doing this virtually. We can't wait to get back in person, of course, when the time is right. But a lot of you tune in live, but most of you are tuning in later on in the week, which is one of the cool things about us doing this virtually. We save these episodes and we post them on all of our social channels. So if you can't tune in live, that's totally cool. Or if you're listening to this later on the week, I hope you had a fantastic week. But you can always stay plugged in the community anytime, anywhere on our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn is, I think, one of our newest pages. So feel free to connect with us there. We are looking to start building out our team again as we approach meeting in person. So if you're looking to get plugged into the Dallas-Fort Worth, and specifically Dallas, but the DFW, I say, because we're all living everywhere. But the DFW startup community, you can volunteer with us. There's so many different things you can do. If you want to actually co-host one of the events, if you want to actually help find founders, if you want to go find us kolaches and donuts, because that's super important for Jessica and I to have sugar.
That's actually the most important job.
Sugar and carbs, you have to, yes. So if you're interested,
we'll be screening very heavily for that one.
Exactly. You can shoot us a DM on any social channel, or Dallas@1millioncups.com is the official email, but feel free to DM us or put something in the comments too if you are watching us later and decide you want to volunteer. As I said earlier, August is when we'll be coming back in person. So excited to reveal more details on that soon. Jessica.
Yay. Love being in person. And I know I've gotten a couple of messages from some of y'all out there that are interested in being team members. We are super excited to have you. So feel free to reach out to Jasmin or I individually as well if for some reason you don't want to connect with one of the 1 Million Cups pages. But we are super excited to get a team back together, be back in person, and be back with y'all. With that being said, a little information about kind of how we're going to run today, and then we will get started because y'all don't want to see me doing this anymore. So, maybe Jasmin, you'd love to see that.
I do. Yeah.
So we have to, I can't even remember what I'm saying because I don't have any coffee in my system.
I know, I'm nervous about the rest of the show.
It's going to go downhill quickly. Every week we generally have somewhere between 1 to 3 presenters. These are entrepreneurs that are going to share with us their entrepreneurial journey, what they are working on. And we are super excited to have them. Their presentations are going to be somewhere between 6 to 10 minutes. At the end of those presentations, we like to take questions from y'all. So feel free, if you are tuning in with the live stream on Facebook, feel free to type your questions or comments into the comment section, into the chat, and we're happy to bring those up and ask the presenters for you and get answers to those. Even if you're watching after and you're not watching the live version of this, feel free to put your comments or questions because we do go back and check them, and we'll be sure to reach out to any of the presenters and check in with questions that you may have had after the fact. So feel free, put questions, comments, whatever. We love to show them and have them pop up on the screen. At the end of our first presentation, Jasmin and I are going to talk a little bit about some events or community stuff that's happening that we think you should know about. We'll do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll go into our second presentation, and then we will be done for the day. So with that background in mind, you have a little schedule roadmap for where we're going. Let's go ahead and get started with our first presenter, Crystal.
Crystal, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Is this what they call ship-shap or whatever? You know, on
shiplap.
Shiplap. This feels like a shiplap moment.
I like it. It's just a piece of fabric.
Is it?
Wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I've got to step mine up.
Because otherwise, you don't want to see what's back there.
That is a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Awesome. Well, welcome
to Crystal's already sharing her hacks with us this morning.
Yes, and I got lots of hacks.
Okay, we have a separate
I'm ambitious, but I'm also lazy.
Me too. Tribe.
Yeah, 100%. If 1 Million Cups Dallas had a tagline, that would be it. Ambitious, but also lazy.
Maybe this is as Jessica, but okay. Crystal, tell us about sharing solace.
Oh, okay. Let me share my screen. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
Doo, doo, doo. I'll sing you a little music. Doo, 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 doo.
Yeah, a little waning music.
Oh, what happened? Oh no, I've already lost it.
It's okay. I mean, you already gave us the gold of the fabric background.
I know.
Right.
You really don't have
Anything you add on top of this.
In
is
fact,
just
I'll send you a link. Let's just do full
extra.
screen and see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, except it won't let me do that.
I wonder if it's because you've got the other one.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if I make it big and then, I swear we got this to work earlier, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We
But
did.
I wonder, so should we exit out the
There
other?
we go. I got it.
Okay. There
Success.
we Okay.
All right. Do you see that?
Yeah, so can you
Yes.
give us a quick, before you get started, a quick little 30-second, what is sharing solace?
So, sharing solace, let me present this. Oh, nope. See, I've already messed things up.
No, you haven't. You're fine.
Doing great.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sharing solace helps grievers grieve and lovers love their griever.
Wow, that is probably the best elevator pitch, short and succinct. So I guess, Crystal, with that, Jessica and I will leave the stage and let you do your thing.
The platform is yours.
Uh-oh. That's a little scary. So good morning, everyone. I am Crystal Webster. I am founder and chief solace officer of Sharing Solace. Like I said, we help grievers grieve and lovers love their griever. But before I get too much into the business end of Sharing Solace, I would love to tell you a little bit about me. And since you can't stop me, I'm going to. So this is my husband and I on our wedding day. Yes, we ran off to Las Vegas and had a full Catholic ceremony on the Strip in Sin City. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. But we had a great time, an amazing adventure. But then, like most brides, I had to come home to my boring corporate job pushing papers around in a cubicle. Well, we decided that one adventure wasn't enough for us. And so every opportunity we had, we traveled. We got to see some of the most awe-inspiring sights and meet some of the most beautiful people inside and out. And more than anything, I honestly learned that it doesn't matter the color of your skin or the language you speak or the clothes on your back. We are all human. And we all have the same wants and needs and fears and desires. That's just being human. And then after a whirlwind of traveling in 2010, it was time to come home for our biggest adventure yet. This is my beautiful daughter, Madeline Elizabeth Webster. Yes, I am a little bit partial. She is the most beautiful little girl in the history of the planet. Born May 19th, 2010. Happy, smiling, adorable. I mean, come on, look at that face. And I'd like to show you a picture of her today. You see, my Madeline died in my arms 8 hours after she was born. Come to find out, she had a genetic condition that made it impossible for her to sustain her own life. And, obviously I was grieving her death. We found out that it was my genetics passed on to her that made it impossible for her to sustain her own life. So her death, that realization, along with trying to bring her siblings with the use of, science and in vitro fertilization and all these medical things, I spiraled into a deep depression, feeling like I was not enough. I couldn't do it. It was terrible. I felt like I was the only person that had ever felt so much pain in the whole world. I was alone. I was isolating myself. And it took me years to be able to see that there was maybe a light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't there yet, but I was moving in the right direction. And it was then that I realized that all of the things that I'd been given at Madeline's funeral, the baby blankets, the teddy bears, the figurines, the tchotchkes, all of those things that once brought so much comfort to me, every time I saw them now just brought back the pain of losing her. And so that's how Sharing Solace was born. Sharing Solace really solves 4 main problems. For the friends and families of grievers, the what do you do, what do you say, and how do you provide support when you just don't have the words? And then for the grievers themselves, we help them feel less isolated and less lonely. And also what to do when those treasured keepsakes do start to become tchotchkes. Because like it or not, that's part of the healing process. And so this is what we developed. Ta-da! This is our token and locket system set, much like the necklace I'm wearing right now. We also have a similar keychain that works in just the same fashion, intended to be given to you during that heavy initial grief. But wait, there's more. You keep your locket with you as long as it brings you comfort. And when it starts to no longer bring that same comfort, you know that it's time to release the middle token and symbolically that heavy on your heart grief. So what you do is you take the middle token out of the outer locket, put that middle token into a new locket, and you pay that new locket forward on to someone else you know that needs love and support as they go along their own grief journey. You keep the outer locket like it's pictured here. As a reminder, you are still a whole person. You're just always going to have a little hole. Honestly, our secret sauce lies in that middle token. Each middle token has a unique identifier inscribed on the back side of it that allows you to register it on our website and follow it as it moves from person to person. So you can share part of your story. You can feel part of a community, part of an organization where people understand what you're going through. Because most of the time when you're going through grief, you don't feel that way. So our customers are probably exactly who you think they are. They're the friends and families of those that are grieving, and also anyone that's disheartened from any sort of loss. I adamantly believe that grief is grief. It cannot be compared, and it is completely relative to your situation. And so comparing it is probably the worst thing you can do for you. What makes us so cool? Well, we have a patent. We finally have a patent number on the locket system and actually how it fits into our website. This is the first tangible gift and community I've ever found that really focuses not only on the thing, but also what that thing is intended to do. And then I'm probably going to date myself a little bit, but do you remember Heather Locklear washing her hair and then telling 2 friends and they tell 2 friends and so on and so on and so on? I have seen that firsthand at events when we used to be able to do those. I would be speaking with someone and they would leave and drag their friend back and say, you need to hear about Sharing Solace. And that fills my heart in a very, I hate that people need to know about us, but I love that we're here to support people. So what have we been doing in the last year? Well, we've expanded our product line to include a few other things that help support grievers and help lovers love their griever. But the thing that I've done that I think is super cool is I have also written a book. I am so proud of this. It is called Confessions of a Griever, Turning a Hot Mess into an Oat Message, Laughable Lessons for When Life Just Sucks. And I gotta tell ya, sometimes life just sucks. And this book is a little bit my story, so a little bit memoir, some tips and tricks, a little bit self-help. But again, the thing that I think is super cool about it is that it is written as a choose your own journey book, because this is what my grief journey looked like. It's not a straight line. It doesn't go from A to B to C to D. It goes loop-de-loop and roundabout, and you think you're at the end and then you get pushed back to the beginning. So why would you read a book on grief in a linear fashion? You might as well read it how it works. So that was released right as the pandemic started, May 19th, 2020. It was my 10th birthday gift to my daughter. So that's where we've come from. Here's where we're going. So our next few steps are through speaking and education. I'm actually working on a program. I'm calling it an experience that I'm lovingly titled Feel Your Effing Feels, because you need to feel them all, the good, the bad, the dirty, the ugly. You need to be able to feel all of your feels to start to begin to heal, I think. I'm also working on my wellness counseling certificate from Cornell University so that I can become a certified grief mentor. Some people call that a grief coach. I think that sounds a little clinical, so I'd like to consider myself a mentor or a Sherpa in the grief arena. And then I'm also exploring wholesale opportunities because, well, I don't know anything about wholesale. So I'm learning as I go. So that is sharing solace in a nutshell. Here is another beautiful picture of my daughter because I cannot share those enough, and all of my contact information. And I'm really excited to chat with everyone. So thank you so much. And I look forward to our conversation. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Awesome. Crystal, you did such a good job. Thank you so much.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
So the first question, I'm going to ask you the first question we ask every presenter, and that is, what can we as a community do for you?
Well, the thing that I would really like help with right now is we are coming up on Madeline's 11th birthday, May 19th. So we are just over a month away. And for her birthday this year, I am donating little memory maker cards to hospitals all over the nation to give to their NICUs for the families that don't get to take their babies home with them. So I'm looking for connections to hospitals so I can just send them stuff. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for a partnership. I've already fundraised the funds to actually print the cards. I'm just looking for places I can send them.
Would it be a marketing contact at the hospital, or who would be the person you'd reach out to in this situation?
More often than not, someone in the mother suite, labor and delivery, the NICU, neonatal intensive care unit. But normally, if I can share my story with anyone at the hospital, they're willing to put me in contact with the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We can get you some contacts. I have two here in Dallas.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know which direction it was going to go. So I think your presentation style is amazing because you really brought us into your story, but wrapped us right back around to the actual business of it. So, because sometimes I think when you have topics that are hit close to home, the balance between how much of that do I share versus, talking about the business of it. So I think you did a great job on presenting. And it sounds like you've had to pivot. But what's interesting, Crystal, is that, your daughter passed away now a decade ago, yet this idea of grieving and solace has become in the forefront, especially with COVID-19, right? So how has your business been impacted? Normally, when we say businesses are impacted by COVID-19 or the pandemic, it's sometimes negative, but it feels like, because I can think of several people who I lost two people, and I know so many people that have someone that's not doing well or either has lost someone. So how has COVID-19 or the pandemic impacted sharing solace?
In all ways, negatively, positively. And let's be clear, I would love to have the opportunity to work myself out of a job. I would love to eradicate grief. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that is going to happen in my lifetime. But I believe that grief has really come to the forefront. For a long time, that's something else that somebody else has to deal with. Or, people don't really get that true crawls under your skin, seeps into every area of your life grief. But I think everyone gets it now. Everyone has lost what they considered normal. and they're grieving that normal. So in a way, it's kind of helped the cause for people to understand, grief does exist, and grief shows its ugly face in a lot of different ways. It's hurt the business in a little bit, just because I love in-person events. I love to be able to go and give people a hug and pass them a tissue and have a conversation with them. And I haven't done that in 16 months. And I feel like that's where I make the best connections. That's where my soul is filled. And so I really miss that. And I hope someday we get to go back to that.
Agreed. And Kim says that she may have a couple of contacts for you. So I would just connect with her in the comments. Thanks, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim.
So I have a question. What's been your kind of learning curve? You didn't mention what you were doing in corporate before you started the business, but there's obviously a production component and an inventory component and kind of a physical goods component to your business that I think is really unique in the patent component. I find that so interesting. And I think that that's great. That's the lawyer nerd in me. I'm probably the only one that finds that super interesting.
No, I love it.
Me and investors, but what's been your learning curve? How have you approached figuring out all of these different aspects of your business? Because there's so many topics just in what you've told us that you really had to master to make this happen.
It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of, hey, can you do this? This is my idea. First sign this NDA. This is my idea. Can you do it? Okay, you can't. Do you know someone that can? Lots and lots of going down a road only to hit a dead end and have to turn back around. But I felt like every road I went down, I learned a little bit more. I'm not gonna say I learned everything. I still don't know what I'm doing. But maybe if nothing else, I learned what not to do, or something I wasn't interested in.
And how do you manage that? Because this is something we talk about a lot, is how do you manage the emotional roller coaster that is entrepreneurship? Because you're in kind of the business of dealing with emotions. And as someone that loves self-censored expletives, I really enjoy the name of your experience course. So just 100% on that. But really, how do you, deal in other people's emotions, but also manage your own emotional roller coaster of entrepreneurship?
Honestly, how does anyone do that? We try.
Poorly.
We get it kind of right.
I think people use alcohol sometimes.
Yes.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Yes. This may be coffee. This may be vodka. Maybe both.
Oh, Crystal is just full of life hacks. It's my favorite.
Yes.
Can I ask quickly, what's the price point, Crystal? And then what's the business structure? There's a jewelry line here called, and I'm going to butcher it, it's called Acola, I think it's what it's called. And it's a nonprofit, but I think it's a social enterprise. And it's pieces of these beautiful artisan-made pieces of jewelry. And so it's a nonprofit that's masked as a high-end jewelry company. They've got partnerships with Neiman Marcus. But at the end of the day, it's about women's empowerment and creating jobs for women around the world. So it's kind of like a double duo thing. Tell me about the price point, and then what's the structure of your business? Have you explored different paths?
Yes. So our prices range anywhere from, we have our greeting card, which is $7, all the way up to the custom necklaces, which are $160. So they really, hopefully there's a price point for everyone. Our standard necklace is $119. 19 because Madeline was born on the 19th, and everything in my world revolves around the number 19. price point. And then we are technically an LLC. So yes, that is a for-profit business. I'm slowly moving towards B Corp status and looking into that. We do have, I don't know if you want to call it an arm, but there's a foundation nonprofit section of Sharing Solace. But because the little that I know about the law and taxes, it made more sense at the time to become an LLC than to go down the nonprofit route because of all of the moving pieces that we had. However, I don't think that changes our mission or what we're aiming for. It's just how do we report it on our tax return.
Cool. Holly, nice seeing you too. Virtual hugs. Thanks for joining us. So I didn't have any other questions. I think my only, just putting my marketing hat on, is I love the idea of the circle going out and sharing it to someone else. I think the price point sounds exactly right. I mean, I think as you develop it, I could definitely see even a higher price point depending on the materials and everything used. But I think it's such a great way to have that conversation without having the conversation, if you will. And it's one of those things too that sometimes we don't know how to give gifts to people as well. I know when we have Black Lives Matter, when we've had so much social unrest last year, people, I mean, some of the things that I received, which unfortunately I did take some of the gifts, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, I did. But it was a weird thing to receive gifts. It's just a strange thing sometimes on how to give gifts in tough times, right? We don't always know if it's just flowers or whatever. So I think this provides another option for a lot of people and something beautiful that people can wear. So I hope to have you back. I'd like to see kind of what happens in your journey this year too.
Yeah. So would I.
Yeah.
Like to see what happens.
For sure. Jessica, any other questions? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. That's the second tagline of 2021. I love it. I think you did a great job. I think, this is certainly something people don't like to talk about or think about. And it's very difficult to be in an industry where everyone wants to pretend your industry doesn't exist or doesn't need to exist. So I have a lot of respect for that and for you being able to share your story. And everything that you've turned that experience into. So I love it. I love anything that involves community building, and I think it's a really, really great, very cool concept. And I agree with Jasmin. Always, we'd love to have you back. We'd love to have presenters back, see what you've learned since the last time that you've been with us and how you've grown and what your business is up to. And I need to write somewhere. I don't have anything to write with me right now, but somewhere I'm going to write. I have one Post-it note on my computer, but I have no pen. Okay. But I'm going to write that I have contacts at Parkland and UT Southwestern. So I'll send you an email because I have your email.
Thank you.
Thanks, Crystal, for joining 1 Million Cups.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Love your energy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I know. I love it. It makes me feel bad about not having better energy because I don't talk about grief all day.
I know. I think she would have to keep that. Yeah, she would have to. I mean, because it's not like you said, it's not a topic that people like to talk about. But I think she made it feel very like it's something we can talk about it, and then there's a solution too, which is nice. Well,
yeah. So that's what I find honestly most interesting about that presentation, because for those maybe that have been coming to 1 Million Cups Dallas for a while, or just some background for people that are newly joining us virtually, we've had other companies present about kind of the grieving process and community around grieving. There's one I'm thinking of in particular, Jasmin, that you may remember we had in person about 2 years ago, I think. And all great companies, but exactly like you said, Jasmin, sometimes those presentations can get you walk away feeling very heavy.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing to navigate when you're trying to get people interested in your product or interested in your business or share your own story. So I think she did such a great job with that.
Yeah, now Crystal, Holly wants to get in touch with you. She's got ideas and context. I can vouch. Holly knows all the people and has all the ideas. So Crystal, if you're able to connect with Holly in the comments, that would be awesome for you two to connect. I agree. And I think too, what's interesting and what I love about Woman in Cups is that the diversity of the businesses. Feel like we've got another Dave who's about to join us. We've got just such diverse founders here in the city, but like retail is something that we should cover more, and like actual products, you don't always get to hear about that. And so just the fact that she's got that patent, I mean, I also
she has a patent, killing it.
Crystal's slid that in.
Crystal's got life hacks. Crystal's got vodka in her coffee cup. Crystal's got a book. Crystal's got everything.
She's got everything. She is. So I will be connecting with you afterwards, Crystal, too, because I just want to hear about your story more too. So without further ado, I think it's time to bring up our next founder.
Dave is up.
Dave, what's up?
Hi, Dave.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Dave, did you bring bling? I'm sorry, I'm distracted by that watch.
Are you trying? Yeah, Dave's trying to show off his watch this morning.
Okay, all right. I see how quickly I get distracted, Jessica.
I know, Jasmine. 2 seconds. You put something shiny in front of her, and she can't focus. So, Dave, if it starts to go poorly, just hold your watch out.
Show some bling. Yeah,
my
Gucci bag. Yeah.
Have it on hand. Just dangle it in the side.
Well, Dave, tell us before you start your presentation, if you could give us like a 30-second intro on what your company is.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of DoUHave. DoUHave is a marketplace driven off needs, and it's exactly that. We're so used to marketplaces that are just, for sale. And this is actually a marketplace for buyers and sellers that's driven off needs. So you're seeing what people need up front. It's kind of the breakdown. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to grasp because it is the one and only. So definitely a change in things. I think it's economics. There's a lot of businesses out there that actually run off needs before they produce things. And manufacturing, which is an office equipment place, they actually will have a fulfilled order first before they actually produce things on the shelf. So it kind of goes in that way, and that's kind of what it is.
Okay, I'm interested. You've piqued my interest.
Intrigued, no watch needed. You can set the watch down.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll go ahead and add your presentation, and we will step off. I feel like I've got to do quotation stage each time, because I feel like stage just sounds, so we'll leave the stage, yes. You're on, Dave.
Awesome. So you guys can see this here. And I can't see you guys, so I don't know.
Yep, you're good to go.
Awesome. Okay, so digitizing buyers in a $1 trillion marketplace. As I mentioned before, this is a marketplace driven off needs, so kind of keep that in mind. So I want to tell you what we have today and why I even started this whole project. So obviously this is just probably a 20th of what's out there. There's about 168 different marketplaces just in the nationwide itself. So you have 5 miles off, Let Go. Those are the big ones that we all know. eBay, of course. Facebook Marketplaces is a great entity that just joined the space. And we have so many marketplaces that it sometimes comes overwhelming to just find something that's, if you're thrifty or want to save money on something, you don't care to buy something brand new, it's kind of hard to know which place to go to. And not one place has it all. So pretty much buyers miss out on having the best opportunity to find something, or a buyer would actually miss out on saying they're looking for something they just don't see on that platform, and they don't know any other platform to look for or look in. And so that's where I came up with the idea of, well, if someone wants something, right, which a lot of us know that what we want, why Amazon is so successful, people know what they want, they type in their search bar to Amazon and bam, they order it, is that we really need to digitize people and buyers, especially thrifters and pickers, on what they want, what their budget is, and where they're at. So I created a platform where you just do that. You just go on this website, you simply post what you're looking for, and it's kind of look like this. John is looking for, vintage rare item. Usually it's in the rare category, or unique, and a budget and their location. And other people on the other side, whether they're willing to sell it or they just have it posted for sale or not, or maybe they have to go to an estate sale and clean out their mom's place, whatever, they can connect with you. And it's simple as just connecting, just like with this icon, and then all of a sudden now you have an interface internally. Do you have to connect? So it is a community. based off needs. And this community is, obviously a very strong community. We're talking about a 7 billion market, 7 billion cap industry when it comes to just antiques. And I don't mean antiques as our only genre. Anything unique. And you're talking about in fashion, Jordans or memorabilia, sports memorabilia. Obviously, people love antiques, collectibles, and a lot of people just appreciate things that were built back in the day. And I'm gonna give you an example of another service that we have. So say you posted something that you want that's usually unique with a budget and your zip code local to you. You can actually opt in and say, hey, I need some assistance. I just want this now. And obviously I want for this good deal. So here's an example of someone posting, looking for an espresso machine. Not really rare, but whatever. They just want a used one. They don't care about buying a brand new one for 400 bucks. The budget was 150 bucks and Dallas, Texas. So in 24 hours, our service team just, bam, shoots them about 4, 5 different items across multiple platforms, depending on what we think is the best platform these are at and local to them. And we just say, hey, thanks for posting on DoUHave. Within 20 miles, check out these deals. And we've been able to find people great deals where they actually made these connections and made it work. And that's standalone. They do that on their own. They go to the marketplace their own. So we're not in competition with these marketplaces. We're actually saying, hey, this is this item from this marketplace. And it sometimes educates them on where they could possibly look next time. So that's kind of our offering on our marketplace. Also, revenue-wise, I don't want to get into the weeds too much about this, but when someone's actually looking for something and they're starting to fill up this information, we create revenue by advertising our local small entities. So, for example, when someone types in, 75240 Dallas zip code, they'll say, "Hey, oh, cool, these Dallas shops." So we really want to expose and show the community exactly what we're all about, and that's bringing the whole thrifting community into one marketplace, because we don't want it divided up into just Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or OfferUp, Letgo, Poshmark, all that stuff. We really want it to be the all place for everything. I'm going to skip over some of this money stuff. I do want to talk lightly about how we're going to generate revenue on a massive scale. And just like a dating app, you're obviously having a subscription fee to connect people. Once we hit a critical mass user base, we're going to be able to unlock connections. So you can make connections maybe 3 times a day, but after that, if you're a super fan user, after the 3 connections, if you want to go for your 4th one, that's when it's going to cost money to connect with these buyers. And I don't get into the weeds with this, but here's some of the feedback that we've had. So we found a couple people some things. I like this one, Maze Joe. I met at a thrift shop. She has 3 stores. These antique stores really don't go through too much traffic. It's a brick and mortar. They're paying rent. They're just waiting for sales. But if she's saying that, wow, if I really had these buyers to say, hey, yeah, I'm looking for that vintage typewriter, she can connect with them and make a sale. She really wouldn't have to have 3 stores. She could have 1 storage unit and a laptop. Here's some examples of our Instagram social media posts. These are items that people actually are looking for to give you a kind of an idea of what people are into. And it's really interesting to see the personalities out there, and it's really cool to see what people are into and hobby-wise. Here's some of the feedback that we got from just posting on social media. People reached out to us and said, hey, we do have this, or hey, I have what you're looking for and I'm local to you. Here's our team. I am the founder and CEO. Jay is an amazing financial officer. We just onboarded pretty much a full-time social media retargeting person. And then we have a West Coast social media person as well. And not sure how much time I have, but here's our stats right now, the past 30 days of just March. We hit 6.2 active users, and we're having a lot of good activities. So we're really excited, and that's it. This is just for fun. When we go to raise money, do you have $210,000?
That was awesome. Thanks so much, Dave. I have lots of questions, but I'll let Jessica ask our infamous one.
Yeah. So the first question we ask every presenter is, what can we as a community do for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody in the thrift world, obviously, I think I read the 1 Million Cups guidelines and said don't ask for, sharing and etc. But I'm gonna have to go on the taboo side and ask that. Anybody in the thrift world, of course, we want, and they show interest in this, let them know about us. We're here for them, and we're here to just actually educate them on even more marketplaces. So we're not in competition with anybody. We really want to be the go-to for the thrift world. So very lightly, anybody ever looking for anything in the thrift world or anybody likes thrifting, hey, check out DoUHave.
Is that your target? That's your target community? Is it thrift, vintage? That's your
people who just love to buy used stuff. My whole life I've always bought everything used. It kind of lowers my stress when I have something beat up but still works. It's worked out well for me. Yeah.
My mom will be all over the site. I can't wait to send it to you.
I love this. I buy half myself on Poshmark, so and I love antique stores. So this is cool. So this is kind of a technical question, but as someone that uses platforms like this a lot, how do you handle shipping? Yeah,
so we're kind of just the middleman. If someone's actually looking for something particular, so we have a lot of people post like, hey, I'm looking for Coca-Cola memorabilia, or someone the other day posted that they're looking for a very specific Dr. Pepper motion clock. We actually just, we're creating an algorithm where we just actually go in those local marketplaces next to them and their zip code, and we say, hey, this is local to you. So we try to cut out the shipping. We think shipping is the last resort. We're kind of like green energy. Shipping takes a lot of that thrifting and what super thrifters like, right? Economical standpoint, the green, world. And when it talks about, hey, it's right next door, I can check it out, and if I don't like it, I don't have to buy it. I think that's the best source. So we need to bring to them. That's what we're gonna do.
Holly says there's a ton of thrift stores in Denton. So we had a founder on. She's actually, I think, the largest blogger or content creator in Denton.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The most influential in Denton. How do you gauge influencer status?
I don't know.
The most influential, definitively.
Her analytics, I guess. Dave, I'm curious. I like the UI and the style and flow of that site because I'm also like Jessica. I'm on sites all the time, especially during the pandemic. My shopping skills online have gone to the next level. What's your background? Yes, your background. You said you're both CEO and marketing strategist, and I definitely feel a nice little marketing vibe here. What's your background, and who did all the technical stuff behind you?
So I'm a former mechanical engineer. I'm kind of right now I'm technical project manager for architects for high-end buildings. So I'm on the developing and usually supportive side. I'm definitely going into the sales side. Of course, I have to. Got to put on a lot of hats, and I think I do an okay job at it. But if you like the graphics and all that stuff, you have to thank our graphic designer. She is amazing, and she's very creative, so I have to thank her. I just put all these talents together, really.
That's the way to do it.
The hallmark of a true CEO.
That's right. What's the goal? I mean, I saw your user base it seems like it's on the upward trend. What's the plans for the rest of this year? And the thoughts of scaling too, right? I'm sure you've got a bigger vision for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to hit 100,000 active users within 30 days per month by December. It's tough to raise money. Being totally transparent, it's tough to raise money in Dallas. The capital is really not there. And if you're in a marketplace, they're always going to argue that a marketplace isn't too expensive to really fund, right? And I did all the bootstrapping. I had bootstrapped this from day one, and it's out there. It's been developed. So now's our time to just say, hey, we can do it. And I think 100,000 users within 12 months. Bootstrap is a good way to just say, hey, it's a full-time job to raise money. So you can raise money or you just work on your customer.
Right.
I'd rather work on my customers.
So what's your, do you know about what your average cost of acquisition per user is?
Yeah, so we're still going through that. What we do know is that last year was 55 cents cost per click for someone to click an ad, and now we brought it down to 9 cents. 30 cents actually saying, wow, you've done something really good. So 9 cents was a huge metric for us to hit in January. And so when you double up on that 9 cents, you get double the, the users. And that's a great metric for investors to know, that if they money, then you have 3 times growth. And so we'll still have to work on the cost, the CAC, just because we don't have too much sales yet.
Agreed. So you included at the end, was it 210? Is like, what are you looking for?
Yeah, it's a number that I keep on bouncing around. There's different levels and depends on terms and agreements. And depending on the term, that's where we kind of see ourselves floating, raising about $210,000 to $310,000 at the end of 2021.
Okay, cool. Well, I would say, yeah, I mean, of course, we have challenges here as some other cities, but we do have challenges from a funding perspective. It's there, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I definitely think you've got a little bit of a journey to hit. I think PR and actually awareness is great. So I love the fact that you've come on 1 Million Cups Dallas. I would recommend that you do this to all the different chapters, because each one of us have our own networks and it's free. And I think, so we of course will share this video out and promote it. But I think the more organic PR and awareness you can do would be great. I'll be thinking about too, because I think there's a couple of people in PR here locally, I think, just to connect you with, just to have those on your radar. I think sounds like a really cool idea. And I was thinking about Leah Fraser, Jessica, just because she's into fashion and she seems like she's into cool vintage. I feel like she probably knows the best people in vintage.
I just assume she knows everyone.
That's what I assume too, that she does too. So I'll connect you there too. Holly's got one final question. She says, do you have plans to automate some of this to scale up? Yeah,
absolutely. We're working on the back end for architecture right now to scale, because our website did crash one time with 100 logs, in a minute. So we are working on the back end, but also for the algorithm to help people find stuff. We're trying to create an AI bot, so to help shop and kind of do it in the fashion of how you like things. So absolutely, those are being worked on for sure. And I forgot to mention that, 1 Million Cups, we are very open. Anybody that wants to join our team, we're always hiring. We're always looking for great talent. So please share that, in the PR world, social media content world, social media engagement world, we're always looking for onboarding anybody interested in our company. So
cool. What's your website, and what are you on Instagram?
Yeah, it's just at DoUHave.co for both Facebook and Instagram. Spelled the unusual way though. D-O, then the letter U, and then have.
Okay.
It's not a real startup if you haven't spelled something and then abbreviated or
.co. Yeah.
Yeah, the .co.
I just can't afford the DoUHave.com,
I
love that.
Full transparency on that, but
love that honesty. Man, Dave's just, if Crystal was bringing the life hack, Dave's bringing the honesty this morning, because he was like, our site crashed with 100 users, and I was like, thank you for saying that, because that happens, and that's part of the value of this program. Honestly, is we as entrepreneurs go through all of these things and we think, I'm an idiot, I'm the only person this has ever happened to, when the reality is it's probably happened to almost everyone. We just don't talk about it.
And we got to, before my mom hits that site, Dave, I hope y'all have that fixed, because my mom can stay on those kind of sites.
Jasmin's mom is going to test out the endurance of your architecture.
She's obsessed with anything royal family-like. She was just looking for something last week with the royal family. Don't ask about it. She's just obsessed with the royal family. So I can't wait to study her.
Awesome.
Yes. Well, thanks,
We're going to have to earmark some royal family members for your mom.
And I'm just scared about whoever has the stuff that she's looking for. I'm just curious about that. I feel like that's a reality show too, Dave. I'm sorry.
You can make a reality show out of this.
Yeah, we'll follow that connection on our site.
Yeah, the people selling it too. I'm curious about. Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, guys.
Dave.
Thanks. Awesome.
And that's it.
Right?
Yeah, we're right on time. Right on time. It's been another great week. Obviously, thank you to both of our presenters, Crystal and Dave. Y'all did a wonderful job. It is honestly, Jasmin and I are just here to facilitate our presenters, our community spotlights that really make 1 Million Cups Dallas, and our lovely audience and attendees and fans. It's all of y'all that make 1 Million Cups Dallas what it is. We're just here to do the really boring back end administrative stuff.
and talk about our lives that they don't ask about either.
Yeah. We're just here to fill in the awkward blank space between the interesting stuff our presenters say. But I'm always excited to be here with y'all. Thank you to everyone. Like we said earlier, Jasmin, I'm sure you can remind them, how do they connect with us if they want to present or be a team member or whatever. They yell at us for our shenanigans. I don't know.
You can go to 1millioncups.com/Dallas to go ahead and apply. We are looking for founders always, and especially too as we get nearing our in-person. And we definitely have Dave come back. I think he's got that 100,000 goal. I think I will be love to check back in with him. But and then you, of course, want every social media channel, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn's kind of our newest channel. So if you want to connect, if you have stuff you want us to promote, if you're in the community, you've got events, we're always looking to use our platform to share as well. And then if you don't like to send official emails, you can always shoot us a DM too. You can
slide into our DMs.
Yes.
That's the thing. But only if you have 1 Million Cups questions.
Good point. Thanks for clarifying that, Jessica, because yes, thank you.
The internet's a weird place.
It is. That's exactly. The DMs is
also, you can slide into our DMs if you have royal family memorabilia that Jasmin's mom may be interested in procuring.
I know way too much about Fergie. That's the sad part. I know way too much about Fergie and her kids.
Does she want stuff with Harry and Meghan on it?
No, she can't stand Meghan. Don't even bring it up. She can't stand Meghan.
Wow, I'm glad I know now. Can you imagine if I had found a plate with Meghan on it and sent it to her? That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, Meghan is a shameful example of a princess. Or I don't know what she is. Yeah, Duchess. All right. Yeah.
No, I don't know what she is now either. It's very complicated.
If I want to get my mom riled up, I'll bring up Meghan's name.
I love this so much.
I can't wait to send her to DoUHave. I cannot wait till she goes to the site. And I'm David.
She's about to come crash her platform.
I know. You start asking me for money to buy stuff on that site, Dave. I'm coming for you, okay? She starts buying random stuff on the site.
Getting Venmo requests for a new royal family memorabilia. Dave's on the hook for that. Can you give her a credit of some sort, Dave? Like an introductory credit?
I should. No, as long as it's under $20, Pam, I got you.
Okay.
$20. Yes. Okay.
You're setting right now the tone. Okay.
Yeah.
Our review session for this week has officially ended. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Great to be with y'all. And we will see you not next week, but the week after with more exciting companies, updates, and maybe, if Jasmin will allow, some more information about when we will be back together in person.
Yes. I think next time will be perfect. See ya.
You heard it here.